should be like you, Mel.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, Cherries fans from around the world, wherever you're watching. Welcome back to another edition of Cherry Slaps. Super exciting, wasn't I'm sure you're aware. Please welcome my co-host, Malcolm Chiverton. As always, Malcolm.
Good evening, Ollie. Good evening, everybody, wherever you are in the world, watching, listening. Hope you're all well.
Yes, indeed. Firstly, what a cup tie. Obviously, 3-3 after 120 minutes with penalties deciding it. Bournemouth showing huge amount of character to come from behind twice, just falling short in the shootout. And Ramsdale becoming an unexpected hero, surprisingly. There's quite a lot to kind of deep dive in here. We should be having a couple of other visitors on the show from the Newcastle fan channels as well. So we'll wait and see when they join. But for now, Malcolm, getting into the first half. At first 10 minutes, I think, was a few shots and back and forth from both teams, right?
Where do you start? Yeah, I mean, it's, as you mentioned, 120 minutes. I mean, I've pulled up some stats as well. What a game to watch. If you're a football fan, doesn't matter who you support. If you love football and you watch that 120 plus minutes, wow, you were certainly entertained. I was. I was a little bit obviously disappointed. Penalties are a real lottery. It doesn't matter which side wins at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But, both teams gave everything in 120 minutes and it was like, wow, football. It was like end to end. You didn't want it to stop.
No,
that's how good it was. So
it was definitely one of those cup games that kept you on your edge of your seat, right? Not the first half, but the second half when those goals started to begin. Crikey, they came in a flurry. But before we get to that first half, we do have the Newcastle, the mighty win in the background now. So I'm going to get him in, and I know he hasn't got too long on the show, so I want to hear his thoughts and opinions. Mighty win. Welcome back.
Hey. How are you doing?
Not bad, thank you. How are you?
Not good after Saturday, I would imagine. We are pretty good, but I don't know why I am a mirror image to you.
No, you seem all right.
Oh, all right, okay.
It's all good. Crystal clear here.
What a weird, bizarre game that was.
Wasn't it just something special?
It was all of that, certainly.
Yeah.
But
we were just about to get into the first half. Obviously, goalless first half. The second half is where all the excitement and action came. But it kind of opened up with a bit of pace from both sides and some shots early on from Krupi and Brooks and Scott. Hill making a decent performance first half, and then even from you guys, Wissa requiring a Petrovic save that touched the bar. Bits and bobs going back and forth. What's your first half recap?
Well, if you look at the momentum in the first half, for the first 10 minutes, we just didn't get the grips with it. It's the first time we've tried. I'll just knock that off for a second. It's the first time we've tried Walter Marder and Wissa up front, which everybody here has been screaming for, by the way. But with not having a third striker, Eddie's been very reticent to try it just in case one of them happens to get injured. But you were all over us the first sort of 10 minutes, even though we had that one break, as you've said, with the Wissa chance that he normally would have buried, but he's still getting back to fitness. That's the trouble with us. We haven't had a striker all season, really. But the crazy thing, again, if you look at the momentum in the game, we were by and large in control, and you scored all of your 3 goals, against the run of play, as it were.
Yeah.
I thought Scott was outstanding on the day.
Thank you.
Absolutely superb. And Jimenez also, he made some excellent runs, especially in the second half. And unfortunately for us, Botman just wasn't at the races. And I say that despite the fact that he blocked one shot, which still went on to Brooks's goal, and cleared one off the line, and hit the ball with a header. But for me, he should have scored that. But anyway, the craziest thing of all is that we do a post-match reaction.
Right.
And in order for me to be able to get out of the stadium and get a taxi home to get on before that reaction ends, what I normally do is leave me seat about 5 minutes before the end, and I watch it on the tellies in the concourse by the exit gates before I leave.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So at that stage, 90 minutes, you're winning 2-1 at that stage. We had a free kick. We're already in 90, 95 minutes or something. We had a free kick. I says, this is it. Last ditch, last Hail Mary, last chance saloon. We fluffed the free kick, and you went up the pitch, and there was literally seconds to go. So I said, right, hit the taxi, get to home, and commiserate. So I hadn't got 30 yards from the stadium when the cheers went up. So I ran back, and they won't let you back in. Once you've left, you can't go back in.
Oh, no.
So I am stuck outside the ground. Quickly, I get the game on my phone, because, again, you can't get any internet signal at St James's Park. It's a waste of time. But by the time I got 50 yards away from the ground towards the taxis, I had my signal. So then I'm watching the whole... Well, actually, I was back home before the first half of extra time had finished.
Right.
And anyway, what a disaster that was, because prior to me starting podcasting, I would never, ever leave the ground before the final whistle, leave me seat before the final whistle. But now with doing the post-match straight after, I've got to get straight back home. Anyway.
And what about next cup game? Do you reckon you'll leave early if you're in the same position?
No, I've already said that's me. You count me out of reactions from now on because the problem is if I don't leave then, by the time I get there, the queues are a mile long and it's a waste. I'll not get home in time anyway. So I've said from now on, count me out. I'll come on with me phone from wherever I happen to be. Absolute disaster.
What do you think of your draw then?
What had it yet?
Away to Villa you've got.
Away to Villa?
Yeah.
Oh, so that means we've got them home and away within the space of whatever, a fortnight.
Middle of February it is, 14th, I think he said.
Well, we've got them at home, haven't we, on a week on Saturday, which is getting there. So that's home and away.
Well, there's a couple of things I want to come to. Obviously, just to give a bit of context into this second half, obviously 51 minutes, Harvey Barnes breaks the deadlock and go 1-0 up. We then pretty quickly respond at 55 minutes, making it 1-1, Evan Nilsson. And 60 minutes is David Brooks. And then
and that again was just after Botman had hit the bar. When Brooks scored and Botman was because Botman had a nightmare on Sunday.
He's just signed an extended contract with you, hasn't he?
He has, and listen. If Botman can get back to the player he was in 22-23 before he got his first big injury,
right?
I mean, the kid's a player. He's quality. But he has never been the same since then. We're all kind of fingers crossed that he can recapture that form that he had at the time. That was the reason we signed him in the first place, of course, because he was playing brilliantly in France. But I'm a bit, that there's talk. Liverpool apparently are sniffing round to get him. So I always said Isaac was made of glass, the rat as we call him now. And if they could, if he signed the contract, so we'll get good money for him now.
Yeah.
If Isaac comes sniffing, I'd be tempted to say take the money because I think he's made of glass now as well. Unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong, obviously. Hope I'm wrong. But that's the way it goes. As you say, then Brooks took the lead. Brooks put you into the lead with, like I say, Botman, just...
I mean, that was one hell of a goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, and just
really
on that as well, I just want to bring in our extra guest here, Matt. Welcome, Matt. How you doing?
Hello, guys. Yeah, all good.
Hey,
good to see you all. Hope you're all well.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We've, I'm sure,
always good after a win, especially when it's a comeback win, because we hadn't won from being behind all season until Wednesday gone when we beat Leeds from behind, and then we've done the same with your good selves. Unfortunately,
sympathetic lot,
we were thinking Eddie had given you a normal present.
Another one.
By the way, that's another thing, by the way, because the knives have been out, believe it or not, for Eddie up here.
I don't understand that at all.
No, I can't understand it either. I'm known on the channel, well, in circles, as the king of the happy clappers, because for me, Eddie can't do any wrong. And but there's a lot of things you can point fingers at him for. As far as I'm concerned, you just look at where we are now to where we were when he took over, albeit he spent a lot of money that everybody keeps pointing to, and everybody is pointing to the fact he spent £250 million in the summer and we're no better off than we were. In fact, we were worse off than we were last year. I said, just wait, man, wait. Never judge your painting when it's half finished. Wait till the end of the season, see where we are.
Yeah, and I want to come to Eddie Howe's decisions with the starting lineup in a moment, considering you've got Man City in a couple of days. But first, Matt, want to have your take on this absolute thriller. Obviously, after we went 2-2 into extra time, went the whole of extra time, then 3-3 within 3 minutes. Tavs getting the final goal, making us go through to the penalties. I mean, talk to us about the experience of that game for you.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of a roller coaster, wasn't it? I mean,
were you up here, Matt?
Sorry?
Were you up here?
No, I wasn't able to make it this
right.
time, unfortunately. But if I had done, I probably would have sent you a message to say I'm up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not. But I did manage to watch it. And yeah, it was a roller coaster, wasn't it? I mean, it was from a neutral's perspective, it must have been a really good watch. It was a good game of football, both halves, to be fair. Yeah, for me, the main thing from the game, I mean, there's several positives I take from it. And yeah, okay, we've lost on penalties. Penalties is a lottery. We all know that. But when you actually look at the 90 minutes and the extra time, there were some really decent performances in there. I think Alex Scott stood out in midfield. James Hill, I thought, was fantastic again. I think James Hill is getting better and better with each game he's played, which is good for us considering the situation we've got with centre back at the minute, and obviously with all the talk with Senesi not signing his contract. So it looks like he's starting to cement his place in the team, which is a good thing to see because he had a real strong pre-season. We didn't really see much of that, much form from him. But now we're seeing what he's capable of, which was good. So I'm trying to take the pluses from it. If I was going to be really negative, my most negative points from it was we should have been more clinical with some of the chances we had. If you look at when Livramento, is that how you say his name? Just fed the ball to Evan Nilsson. Really Evan Nilsson, in my opinion, should have finished that as a striker. And there's several other chances that I'm sure that you guys have spoken about or will speak about shortly, within extra time and that second half, and even probably the first half as well. There was chances where, in my opinion, we should have been more clinical. We would have been able to put the game to bed in 90 minutes.
Well, again, perfectly led into my next point because I want to get everyone's opinion on a statement I made at the start, and that was the unexpected hero, Ramsdale. Obviously, saving multiple penalties, including key stops from Evan Nilsson, Jimenez, Diakite. What can we say about that? Because that, again, completely unexpected, and he's made headlines this morning.
Good luck to the lad. It's like Matt said, yeah, it is a lottery, isn't it? Penalties. It goes one way or the other. The goalie's a hero or the shooter is a flop, if you like. So the keeper's got nothing to lose. But
there's a massive debate in Newcastle at the minute as to who should actually be our number one. They can go up around Ramsdale, ex-Bournemouth, of course. Eddie Howe connection there as well at Bournemouth.
We'd have had him back.
Yeah.
Well, my preference is for Ramsdale. I do think in that despite Ramsdale, who's in the background there, you can see after his last penalty save, despite him performing his heroics in the penalty shootout, Nick Pope is a better shot stopper, but Ramsdale is infinitely better with his feet and distribution.
Yeah. That's an interesting point. Let me come back to that. Just want to the comments. Liam says, "Hey, Ollie and Mal, up the Cherries, unlucky."
Hi, Liam.
Newcastle won, basically. That's Chris Hubble says, "Evening, Ollie and Mal." Evening, Chris. Paul from Oz, evening, Ollie and Mal, and special guest plus Matt. Paul from Oz.
Hi, Paul.
Chris says,
"Hey, bro."
it was end-to-end game for me. Bournemouth were unlucky. And Paul from Oz just saying evening again. Yeah, evening all, and thanks for being here. Interesting points. Do you think that's still going to be the same viewpoint on your keepers after Saturday's game?
Yeah, funnily enough, Eddie was asked specifically the press conference this morning before the City game. Will your number one? And by the way, Eddie has never stated that Pope is his number one. Will your number one keeper, Nick Pope, be coming back in against Man City? And normally I would have expected Eddie to say, I don't have a number one or whatever. But he didn't contradict the reporter at all.
Wow.
And he just accepted the fact that, yes, Nick Pope is his preferred option.
Interesting.
Okay.
However, Ramsdale has played every cup game.
Yeah.
So it's still up for grabs as to who will be in goal tomorrow night.
Oh, and it leads me on to final question before I ask Malcolm and Matt some things. I wasn't expecting such a strong lineup, especially with the games you've got coming up. Was there a reason that you think you put out such a heavy lineup, and why you persisted to try and get that win? Because it's obvious you guys were not leaving that pitch without taking that win home. You obviously wanted to progress to the next round, and you showed it in the game every step of the way. So there must have been a reason you put out a heavy squad.
Well, yes, Shane would put out a heavy squad.
I didn't think you did.
But
See, this is where we talk.
We actually didn't, other than the fact that we started Walter Mortar and Wissa for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Other than that, we put out a very weak, if you like, midfield. You know, both Bruno, our Cape Crusader, on the bench, and J7 on the bench, Joe Linton. And the idea, I think, was to save them for Tuesday, and that, of course, has totally backfired because they end up coming on, being instrumental in getting us through, yes, but then with the extra time, they've effectively, they might as well have played. They might as well have been on from the start, and you know, still had the same whatever tired. I mean, I don't get it myself,
but what an impact they had when they come off the bench.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Anthony Gordon especially had a blinder.
Now he surprised me because I mean he can blow hot and cold, can't he?
He has been blowing hot and cold for the last couple of seasons. Absolutely, he has. And there's a lot of debate about you know, a lot of anti-Gordon sentiment in the Newcastle camp. That he does it for England, but he does, you know, the harp back to Michael Owen, performing for England, but not performing for us, kind of thing.
But it's not the worst thing to be compared to, I guess.
Well, that's true.
There's definitely worse things to be compared to. Chaps, Matt and Mal, obviously, Malcolm, you mentioned a shots stat. I've got here 19 to 18 in the first, before extra time and penalties, basically. The possessions to 37.
That's right. Yeah.
And we performed that well. Can we take from that the last two games and our 11-game, no win streak, is that now flipped on its head a little bit? Can we be looking a bit brighter to the future from the streak that we've been having?
Absolutely. I mean, that performance just basically, when we go back to the previous game, so Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Chelsea was really a turning point for me. It was an excellent performance, getting back to the Bournemouth way of playing. Okay, and then we had Arsenal. Yes, we lost, but boy, did we give them a game. All right, that was really, for me, the point where I thought, we got no worries here this season. forget the 11 games where we didn't get a win. Obviously, the Tottenham game was, first half was excellent. Second half, it was a bit messy from us, but we got the win in the end. And the performance at Newcastle, wow. Without Semenyo, first time. Unal gets started off injured.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he's just making his way back and getting some minutes. I think I read 3 weeks or a minimum 3 weeks out. So some muscle injury. It's not a hamstring. But yeah, I'm positive, mate. Well, yeah, as you know, I'm always glass half full anyway. But
Yeah.
I'm really buoyed up from the last 3-4 performances. And yeah, we're back into it again. Yes, we're a bit short of numbers at the moment, but wait and see, watch this space sort of thing, really.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm going to have to shoot off shortly, but just before I go, as I say, there has been, it's diminishing slightly now to what it was when we were, believe it or not, sitting 14th in the league behind you only 3 weeks ago, less than 3 weeks ago. When we got beat at Man United, the knives were out and forth, and there was a huge demand, if you like, to get Iriola to replace Eddie.
Get out of here.
Well, all I'm saying is that that's there, and I pretty much I think if we did approach him, he would probably think that this was a bigger opportunity than Bournemouth currently can offer him. To be fair, that's just the way things are in the world. Sadly, we are in the opposite position with the clubs that we are trying to catch up. And I know how much the Cherries fans have Eddie in their hearts, as it were. And there was very much a sentiment the last time I was on your show that you actually think Iriola is better than Eddie because of a lot of the faults which are constantly being reiterated by Newcastle fans right now. Having favourites, not playing stronger sides, and all of this in-game management, all this sort of stuff. Right now, in the middle of the run you're in, do you still have that same Iriola's better than Eddie attitude, or has that kind of diminished a bit now?
And I'll throw something in here because it's something we actually did talk about this past week. What Iriola is actually doing now, last season, because obviously, we had our best ever season. And when things are running for you, everything clicks into place. But now he's working under a different sort of pressure. And so for him, it's also it's like a new challenge. But now he's coming out of this challenge and making let's just say, going in the positive direction. Yeah, let's keep him, mate. Let's keep him. But I understand where you're coming from with the views on Eddie, because we had him long enough, and yeah, he does have his favourites. We had it as well at Bournemouth with him, didn't we? So stick with Eddie.
Oh, absolutely. I'm there. I am king of the happy clappers, but
let's not start the theory of swapping managers.
You're not making any theories here, mate.
You take Iriola, we'll take Eddie back. Not happening yet.
No, I don't think that'll happen for a second. I think when Eddie leaves us, he goes to England. But,
great shout. Good shout.
But that's for another day. Listen, guys, gotta go. Been great being on. Look forward to being on again. Board. We'll get one of you on ours next time.
Awesome. And shout out to Marty Wynn. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
See you later.
Good luck for the rest of the season. Bye.
Ta-da.
See you later.
Please do go and check out the Mighty Win show. It is the NUFC. Was it?
I should remember it because I watch it. I forgot. NUFC Talk, I think it is, or something. He won't be doing.
NUFC Talk TV. Apologise.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
It was on my screen a minute ago. It was only because it disappeared. But yes, please do go and check out his. Well, he's not doing live reaction shows anymore, as you just heard, because of being delayed, which is such a shame. I can imagine pulling your hair out in that situation. But chaps, for us that are still here, obviously, we mentioned that the possession puts us in a better spot. That we're obviously pairing off against the likes of go on, Mount.
Just going through the chat here, yeah, Liam. We're linked Alex Hobbs from Ferenc Faros. Do you know much about him? No, I don't actually. Paul from Oz, Andoni also has some favourites, does he?
I would say Tavernier is probably one of his favourites.
Okay, all right, yeah.
On that one.
On that one, and that.
On that.
So Chris says he's a centre or a midfielder. Thanks for that, Chris. Whoever put that up?
I did, because we were actually discussing him on the transfer show on Friday night.
Boom. There we go.
So that's where I've got my research already, but I'll leave that for Craig and Manny on Friday night.
Okay.
And the other two are exactly the same, Mal.
Yeah.
And then Paul from Oz says exactly, Matt. Tav is right.
That's the one. Yeah.
But what I wanted to say was pairing off against obviously European contenders. They've been fantastic with what they've been doing recently. Newcastle. We've got a couple of games left.
They've got a full house, haven't they? Carabao Cup, FA Cup, League, and Europe.
They've got everything still going for them at the moment. Yeah. Obviously, besides the Premier League, unless something absolutely crazy happens, but
the games. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, blimey, and they've got it's looking good for them at the moment. Obviously, Villa against them next. I think it's going to be a super tough game. But Bournemouth run of games after we've come out of that first half of the season. And what we've had recently, we've got who have we got now? We've got Liverpool, we've got West Ham and Wolves.
Brighton next.
Brighton,
Liverpool, and Wolves.
Yeah.
Much more confident heading into these games now. I know that obviously our rotation's a bit off because of some injuries here and there. Unal's back out again. Krupi and Evan Nilsson starting together, which is
great,
fantastic. Do we expect similar starting lineup for the next game?
Well, I would say yes, but not Soler starting. I think at Brighton now the Trofeo start because he started on the bench at Newcastle, didn't he?
Yeah.
Smithy, will he start? Oh, the poor guy was knackered, wasn't he, at the end?
I mean, Smithy, you've got to put a real shout out for Smithy because he's 34
what a shifty
years of age.
Yeah.
He's
a shift, isn't he?
Fiddle, isn't he? And do you know what? Okay, he got a bit of cramp at the end there, but when he stepped up for that penalty, I actually thought, have you actually got any energy left to take this?
Yeah, exactly that.
So he's an absolute, true professional. A massive shout out to Smithy. You know what you get with Smithy, you get 110% every game, but when you look at the age side of it as well, okay, I'm pretty certain he's 34. It's okay, age is just a number, but as you get older, you know how it's more difficult to overcome injuries and things like that and stay fit. And so, I just thought that game he put an absolute shift in and, just didn't stop, did he, Smithy? So, yeah, I think, that there's a few others I'd like to give a little shout out to when the time's right. But Smithy definitely deserves a shout out.
Please do. Funnily enough, I'm looking at standout players, so go for it.
Well, yeah, like I say, Alex Scott, I thought stood out really well, first half and second half for me. He stood out really well. I think he's, really cemented himself into that midfield now. And you can see why, players like Christie and Cook are sort of, well, when Christie's fit, and Cook is, kind of having to work and rotate around him. And when Adams is fit, you can see Adams slotting straight back in beside him. That's our midfield this season, isn't it? And, he's just growing stronger and stronger every game. I mean, the one that really did stand out for me was James Hill, like I said a little bit earlier. I thought he was first to every ball. Okay, he was outpaced by Barnes for the first goal. Not a lot you can really do with that, but in terms of getting his head on the ball and intercepting and getting his tackles in, I thought he was excellent. He was my man of the match, to be fair. So yeah, he's my standout man was James Hill. But it's an interesting point you make with the whole Ramsdale Nick Pope situation, because just if I can just touch on this very, very quickly, from a Bournemouth perspective. Petrovic, now obviously he's had his critics. I've been quite critical of him lately. But look at the first half. I think it was a shot from Wisa, was it? And he pulled the blinding save. If you look back to the Spurs game, brilliant save. If you look back to the Spurs game, and he plucked one right out the air, header out the air in the second half, I think it was. Yeah. He's a very, very capable keeper, but I think, do you know what? He kind of needs a Ramsdale behind him, kind of like what Nick Pope's got at Newcastle. Now, Nick Pope is going to be really on his toes after that performance from Ramsdale. Ramsdale is a very, very capable keeper, and in most, I would say, any side definitely out the top 6, he walks straight into as the number 1 goalkeeper. I rate him that highly. I think the thing with Petrovic is that, and this is no disrespect to Will Dennis or no disrespect to Fraser Forster, but he knows he's in every game. He knows he's the first name on the team sheet in goal. I think really what will benefit Petrovic and improve him, because I was on Sidge's show for the Chelsea game, and we were talking about Petrovic, and he couldn't believe that I was saying, he's in a bit of an awkward spot at the minute. He's in a bit of a, 1 minute he pulls out a blinder, next minute he's in no man's land flapping. And they couldn't believe, the Chelsea, like I say, Chelsea fans, love Petrovic. They thought he was a better keeper than Sanchez. But I think what he needs is that real strong contender behind him to really keep him on his toes, push him week in, week out. Every time they're on that training field, mate, you slip up, I'm in. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think he's got that. I think he can come up, and I think that's when complacency comes in. Because I've seen certain comments on social media, and that I don't really comment on things much, or if ever. And some criticism is rightly so. And some I'd say is probably a little bit too harsh. But I just thought it was an interesting point that you brought up there earlier with the whole Nick Pope and Ramsdale, who is the number 1, and that's really what Petrovic could do with, is having someone really strong behind him down here, and that would just improve him, I think. And because there is a really good goalkeeper in there, I still have faith in that. And another person as well we can probably touch on there who's had a bit of criticism lately is Diakite. I thought he didn't have a bad game against Newcastle. I think there was a couple of slips here and there. But, again, I think for someone like him, let's let him have this first season. Let's judge next season.
Yeah. Someone mentioned Zabanye at one point. Was it you, Mal?
No.
And you mentioned that, or maybe I read it somewhere, that Zabanye.
No, you've read that, Ollie. I've read the same thing.
Pre-season and the whole first half of a season before he even started performing and getting first-time minutes.
Yeah, I read the same comment.
Yeah, and then obviously think a season or two later, and he's being sold for 60 million to PSG. Yeah, so the potential of these players, I think, is what needs to be looked at, and giving them time, much more time to be flexible with how how they can expose themselves on the pitch and who they gel better with and what works for them, what type of strategy play. But yeah, go on, Mal. Sorry, I think I've jumped in there.
No, it's okay. All I was going to say on that point is that you have to look at the bigger picture, and sometimes too many people have got their blinkers on and only see maybe some errors that players make, and in that instant, and then suddenly it's clouded their vision that they can't really think about anything else to talk about, and obviously all this splurge comes out.
Yeah,
and that's the bigger picture. So you're right. Wait till the end of the season, have a look and see how they progress. What's the ambition going forward into the next season? I think we'd be fine. It's just some players can settle in quick. Others, they do take time. As you say, Sabarni, the first season he was in, yes, look where he finished up. His last season with us. Brilliant stuff, But Trafford, he's come in. I think he's had a couple of not quite so good games, but overall, his levels are way up there. Really top player. We can't really discuss Milos because lack of game time, injuries, whatever. And I'm sure he'll be another one that will be, stepping up.
Yep.
Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Senesi. I'd like to think he's going to stay, but I'm not going to speculate anything. It would be nice to keep hold of him. But if he does go, Milos has got a place there, hasn't he?
Well, yeah.
To make his own, or a possibility to make his own.
Sure. Yeah. So Senesi's got to want to go somewhere else first. And I know that he doesn't necessarily want to stay here, but he also has turned down a number of other offers and another number of other conversations. So I think he might stay for a little while longer because he'll wait for the right move. I don't think he's in a rush to leave, which means hopefully we do have that bit of depth and that bit of rotation for some of the other lads to get their time in, especially with a player like Senesi, who we know holds the fort, controls the back line, can get the ball up the pitch. He can create runs up into the final third. Like, he's kind of an all-round bloody good defender, really, for us, and has only got better, which is nice to see as the seasons have gone on.
We haven't actually mentioned, you were talking about good players. You had Brooksy.
Yeah, on my list.
David Brooks, he's like, wow. And he crowned it off with that brilliant, what a goal.
I was screaming past it,
Yeah.
I was screaming
way inside his own half when he got the ball. And he went and went and went, and I wanted him to square it. Come on. But when he got we know he can shoot. But boy, oh boy, even Ramsdale didn't have a chance, did he?
I'll tell you what, that was such a great finish, and to do it against your best mate as well must be even.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah,
it must give you even more of a buzz, I'm glad because I actually made a mental note of that. We've got to really speak about Brooksy as well, because not only the goal but the performance, like you say, was
super
fantastic.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, Chris says Smith played really well in the second half, all game, and Pens were great, which is good. Liam Humby says he agrees with you, Matt. There's great potential in these players. Look at Semenyo, took a while to settle in, and now he's been sold to Man City. Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. Yeah, I think I was looking at a post again the other day, him in a Bath Town t-shirt and something like that. So, yeah, you always watch these players, and I think again, kudos to the recruitment team because they keep spotting these players and these gems, and they continue to build us good revenue and a good future kind of football system, which has been the whole plan. Paul from Oz, well said, Malcolm. Brooksy was great. Yeah.
If I wanted to make one negative point from the Newcastle game, I was really it's an observation, right? It was when Adley got subbed off. I can understand that he was disappointed, but he was like, you could see it written all over his face, but it's for the team. When you're subbed off, it's for the team and a tactical change. Forget about your ego He's young enough. We know what he's capable of doing, but the camera was on him for so long. I thought, can you change the shot, please?
Yeah.
You know,
I kind of.
as a pro,
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
No, I was just saying, can I just touch on that little point? Because I remember
yeah,
that, and the camera panned in on him, didn't I? And I remember my dad saying to me, he don't look very happy. Now, I see your point, but at the same time, if you flip it the other way around, if you were a professional and you're not getting many minutes, wouldn't you be disappointed to be subbed? You can flip it.
Not necessarily. Not and the only reason where I give my 2 pennies worth is because I feel like Adley at the moment has been the common denominator with attitude and character on the pitch. Like Ben Doak, before Ben Doak got injured, right? And it took even another good example, Jimenez. First few games that Jimenez got minutes on the pitch, and there was the narrative of aggression almost, and it was intense, and everything was too heavy, and I feel like that's okay. We have to learn and adapt, and I feel like if Adley's been here the amount of time that he has, maybe he was given a chance, and he knows that he hasn't performed in that chance almost. I see it slightly differently with Adley. I don't know. There's something about him that isn't sitting quite right with me at the minute, and I'm hoping it's gonna change. But I think even the game that we went to, boys, and when we were there, Mal, and even that game,
when he came over at the end of the game,
he did come over at the end of the game.
He wasn't very happy, was he? When he came walking towards us,
I think. Again, just not the right. It wasn't the right attitude. I think ultimately we have a rudimental, basic attitude at our ground, and of our football players, and of our support team, and of our senior leadership, and you have to fit into that. And there's certain players that I could name right now that haven't lasted in the squad. And I think he's got to really look at that and switch that up soon. Otherwise, he could be at risk. It's just a shame. It's a real shame, because there's obviously other young new players that are performing and are getting their chance and are happy. So obviously it's not something you'd like to see in a player, especially a player that might struggle with the language barrier almost, and in a new area and whatever else. But yeah, it's a tough one. But I'm not getting the Bournemouth feeling from him yet.
No, I would totally agree with that. Yeah, no, totally. Definitely.
Yes, I was going to say, if there is anything else in the roundup, chaps, obviously apart from me promoting a few videos coming up in the future and the other games that we're yet to see this month, any other comments on the game?
Well, the game, I mean, let's see more of it. Performance. You can't argue with performance levels now.
Yeah. I mean, I think me and Malcolm have spoke over, recently about, previous games and that, and since that sort of Chelsea game, things have slightly got better with each game, performance wise. Even if we haven't got the result, the performance has been there. And now I think that, we can take the positives from these last run of games and kick on with it now. And I think that's the important thing now, is to end the season on a high. And try and get as high up this league as we possibly can. Obviously, it doesn't look like we will probably equal or beat last year's points total, but there's no saying that we can't. But yeah, I think it's just taking faith in the performances. It's like there were some performances when we were on that bad run where we just didn't look like an Andoni Iraola side at times. Whereas now we do again, and we've got that belief. You look at the Tottenham game. Just belief. We didn't know we were beaten. That's the Iraola side that we're used to watching, that we've been spoiled with watching, I suppose. So for me, that's the key.
Yeah, I think that's a super good point. Had we have performed the way that we've performed recently and not got 3 points in some of the games last season that we had some terrible performances in, we'd have come away with a ton more points last season. So clearly the standard of our play is naturally getting better, which is all we can ask for. Again, we're in this period of growth, right? It's never going to change overnight. So, and we keep getting picked apart. We keep getting these players come in and we keep getting these players leave. So what can you do? What can you do with a situation like that?
Yeah,
I mean, can I just point out? I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. There was a nice short video on YouTube today about Antoine. His first start for Man City. I mean, just little snippets through the game. All the touches and everything, and with his assist, his goal, and everything. Again, a man of the match award as well. Wow. I mean,
Debut. That's huge. Huge.
For City to score 10 goals and Haaland not get one. I mean,
yeah,
come on. That is just like ridiculous, isn't it?
yeah.
But I think again, great to point out, and big shout out to Semenyo, because imagine how he
Absolutely.
felt. Imagine how he felt coming off that pitch, having a goal and an assist on his debut after being a record signing for Bournemouth and thanking our fans in the local newspaper, and then getting man of the match in front of Haaland. Like, is that not like everything he moved for? Is that not like, and then coming away from getting the winning goal at Tottenham? Like, I just feel like that whole transition period, he has been perfect for him, and I couldn't have wished anything better for him for how he's handled it. He's been spectacular, the loveliest guy, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Model professional.
100%. Yeah, so nice, so humble, like the loveliest guy.
Yeah,
I mean, loads of the pundits and experts, they've all praised him for the way he's conducted himself, and I think, rightly so. And if other players could, basically, be like he is, things could be so different for all of them.
There's certain players you could name, isn't there? That
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think if any professional footballer is going to make a big money move, they want to, and any, I mean, and as an example for a young up and coming player as well, I mean, they just want to look at how Semenyo's conducted himself throughout this whole, because obviously he knew 3 games ago he was going, and he's played those 3 games. He's put, all his effort in, like you say, even scored the winning goal against Tottenham and has conducted himself in that manner. And he's got this dream move, and you just can't begrudge him of it. And I just hope he does really well for City. Obviously not against us, but I hope he's successful at City.
Yeah, I hope when we play them next, he'll sit on the bench and keep it
warm. No, separate to that, Paul from Oz says City were watching Anton for 2 years.
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah, that's right.
That shows a good recruitment team, though, doesn't it? Because I imagine we were on that early as well, and again, it's it's something to do with these Spanish managers and the teams they have behind them, right? Pep, Iriola,
absolutely.
Villa, City, Bournemouth, all just doing weird but wonderful things in the football world at the moment, it's fantastic to see. Chris Hubble says, let's hope AFCB get an away win against Brighton next Monday night. Great shout, Chris.
Did you see Brighton?
Yeah.
Against United?
Yeah, 2-1, yeah. The Cherry Slaps show next week will not be on the Monday night. It will be on the Tuesday night. So keep your eyes out for that. Any other additional shows to watch out for, Matt?
There'll obviously be the Dean Court Social later on in the week.
Yep.
There is the transfer show, which will be on Friday night with Craig and Manny. They'll be discussing all the speculation and players that are linked to Bournemouth, as well as doing a Premier League roundup of transfers as well to see who's gone to which club.
Yep.
And then next week there will be the 100th edition of Cherry Picking.
Just about to say, if you haven't seen this, please go and vote on these polls, because the polls are super important. It's going to give you a number of different options for players to pick for that specific position. And Matt, if you want to say how you're presenting it or what it is.
Yeah. So basically, because it's the 100th edition, we're going to do a all-time Premier League select 11. So basically, the way it's going to work is, and like you've said, Ollie, it's already on Facebook. Some of them, not all of them. I will do the rest over the next couple of days. And then by the end of the week, we will have a player voted for in each position that will make our all-time select Premier League 11. The players that come second will end up as substitutes for those positions as well. So we'll have a starting 11 plus a bench. And also from you guys, which I will send info out to all of you guys. If you guys want to have a crack at doing your own 11 from your own perspectives, then we'll also have them as well. But so definitely tune into the Facebook page and get voting.
Excellent. Yeah, please do all of those nice things. And click the notification bell, as always, so you get notified when these videos come out, so you can watch them straight away and that they're in your library ready to watch. Finally, before I go, it was Matt's 40th birthday, and where he got the new FIFA game, I hear, on a console. Have you taken Bournemouth to the Champions League yet?
Finding time to play it, Ollie, would be handy. But no, I have started a career season as Bournemouth. I think I'm up as far as the Palace fixture at the minute. But yeah, on is it World Club? I don't know what mode it's on, but difficult mode. So I've got that. I've also actually now mentioned 40th birthday.
For anyone as interested as me, we're going to keep an eye on this FIFA gaming, by the way, as the seasons go on.
Yes, I have got a signed ball.
Oh, nice. That's fantastic.
With a certificate of...
Yeah, lovely.
Signed by Mr. Neil Blake.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Got a few... I've got the 125th anniversary goal net and stuff. So I got lots of Bournemouth related items as well as me FIFA. So yeah, very happy, very lucky.
Paraphernalia.
Bournemouth paraphernalia.
Paraphernalia.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Good.
Just to let you know, Liverpool are leading 2-1 at the moment against Barnsley.
Oh yes.
Let's hope they hold that lead. Crikey.
It's almost half time, so okay.
Amazing. Thanks for that update, Mal. Chaps, really appreciate you guys being on tonight. Thank you for everyone watching and getting involved in the chat. I personally will see you next Tuesday for the Cherry Slaps after the Brighton game away next Monday. But for now, have a great evening and up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries.
Thanks very much, and up the Cherries.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.